So, PlayStation 6 release time frame confirmed, and official news on GPU, AI, path tracing, and more. And leaker pushes back on the PlayStation 6 release year, and Sony buys a new studio. Those are the stories we're going to cover today, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it. And as always, it's very much appreciated. First, from 1 to 10, how would you rate the PlayStation 5 era so far? I feel like people personally forget how many great games we've gotten since 2020, like Miles Morales, Returnal, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Gran Turismo 7, Spider-Man 2, Death Stranding, Ghosts of Yotei, etc., and how much more there's still to come. It's clear that live service had an impact on releases this generation, but we got a lot of great games already, not including third party, which has been also a lot of great games this generation. But that's just how I see it. What about you? So comment below from 1 to 10, what is your current rating for the PlayStation 5 era so far? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, the PlayStation 6 news on release, GPU, AI, path tracing, and more. So recently, Mark Cerny dropped a video with AMD breaking down some of the tech expected to come to their future console, which is obviously the PlayStation 6. There was a lot of information, a lot of stuff not as easily understandable, but really the information comes down to three things: neural arrays, Radiance Cores, and universal compression. So let's start off with the first one, neural arrays. This lets the GPU compute units work together like a unified AI engine. So instead of a dedicated piece of hardware to do the AI related work, which includes things like upscaling images, they're going to use the entire set of their compute units on the GPU to work together and communicate together and act like that unified AI block. This is aimed to deliver better PSSR capability, enhanced ray regeneration, which is like upscaling for ray tracing, once again to improve performance. And this will also bring better machine learning features in real time, which I assume is related to actual maybe console features like AI assistants. But that's neural arrays. Now let's talk about Radiance Cores, which is the one I'm most excited about because this is a big factor to bring potential better visuals for the PlayStation 6. So Radiance Cores are new hardware blocks for unified light transport, basically focused on handling path tracing and ray tracing more efficiently. Instead of it being something the GPU handles, like the PlayStation 5 does, PlayStation 5 Pro does, this will be something this dedicated block will handle instead, which will bring more performance gains back to the GPU. So here they're saying that they're pushing to reach cinematic levels of realism with lighting tech, but they also want to maintain better performance. And finally, before we start talking about release time frame and what we heard from the video versus what leakers are saying, we have universal compression. Machine learning and ray tracing / path tracing require a lot of memory to do what they need to do. So Sony and AMD created universal compression, which compresses all data types, not just textures needed for the game. This reduces bandwidth use and improves frame rate because now you have more compressed information, meaning more information passing through faster, which should allow for faster rendering and more detail getting across. So the whole idea of the PlayStation 6 seems to be in line with what Moore's Law is Dead has stated, which is that Sony is not going for brute force strength, which they actually directly stated in the video. Sony is rather pushing for an upgrade in power, but also looking to bridge the rest of that gap, the rest of that jump to next generation by using AI and being as efficient as possible. So that seems to be what we're getting with the PlayStation 6. And if you're enjoying the video so far, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community on our way to 150,000 subscribers. Now diving into the second story of the video, the release time frame, official news versus leaker information. So this is what Mark Cerny exactly stated in the video about the PlayStation 6 release time frame. Overall, it's of course still early days for these technologies. They only exist in simulation right now, but the results are quite promising and I'm really excited about bringing them to a future console in a few years' time. In a few years' time is what got people to say 2028 is the release time frame. If you look up what a few years means, it usually means 2 or more. I usually think 3 myself, but this again is Mark Cerny being vague. He's being vague, like he kept saying multi-year in previous videos going all the way back to 2024, which just means more than 1 year. And this makes sense because he's not going to give us an exact timing for when the PlayStation 6 is going to release. He's just letting us know that it's in the near future. According to leaks from Moore's Law is Dead, with information as new as a month ago, the PlayStation 6 is targeting a production timeline of mid-2027 with a launch of late 2027. To add more to this, his recent Xbox Magnus video, which dropped on Wednesday with even more recent information, reconfirms Xbox is also targeting a 2027 launch. So from this, already, this tells you that it's looking like 2027 is the launch time frame, but we can go even further today. Kepler L2, another leaker, was responding on NeoGAF about some of the stuff Mark Cerny and AMD were breaking down in the video and stated that all of that tech is standard RDNA 5 tech, which could also be UDNA depending on what name they go with, which is expected for 2027. He even added this, responding to a user who was asking if 2027 was still on the table for the PlayStation 6. He stated, "Not just on the table, it's the plan unless any unexpected delays happen." So there you go. 2 credible leakers are still stating that the PlayStation 6 and next Xbox are coming holiday 2027, which is still 2 years and probably a month away if it launches in November of that year. People kept making the point that PlayStation 5 needs more time for itself to shine. One, the PlayStation 5 is not going anywhere and will still be supported to come next generation. 2, people forget some of the biggest games they care about for the PlayStation 4 launched in the last bit of the PlayStation 4 era. Horizon Zero Dawn, 2017. Red Dead Redemption, 2018. Spider-Man PS4, 2018. God of War, 2018. Days Gone, 2019. Death Stranding, 2019. Ghost of Tsushima, and Last of Us 2, early 2020. For PlayStation 5, we got Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yotei this year. Sorrows, Wolverine, and GTA 6 are launching next year, and maybe the God of War 2.5D game. Cory Barlog's new game and Intergalactic probably could both release in the first half of 2027. There are games coming, but people also need to acknowledge the games that we've been getting so far. But you guys let me know if you're excited for Grand Theft Auto 6, Wolverine, and Sorrows next year or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And now diving into the final story of the video, Sony buying a new studio. Reading from Push Square, there's been speculation overnight that Sony may have strengthened its relationship with indie developer Giant Squid. The ever eagle-eyed Gematsu noticed both the platform holder and Sony Santa Monica studio filed a joint European trademark for the game Sword of the Sea, which recently released to rave reviews. While it's not groundbreaking news, it is somewhat unusual. Some are speculating that PlayStation may have acquired the intellectual property, while others believe Giant Squid could be poised to become a first-party developer. We suspect the reality may be a lot less exciting, as we know Sony invested quite heavily into Sword of the Sea. In fact, the developer has gone on record as saying the Japanese giant saved the game by providing funding and including it in its PlayStation Plus Extra subscription. So both Sony and the studio have filed as co-owners, it seems, for this IP, so it could just be that and Sony has some ownership on the game, or that Sony bought the studio itself. If Sony bought the studio, I just hope they don't try to push them to become AAA. We need games like Sword of the Sea. I personally enjoyed Returnal and I'm excited for Sorrows, but I do still miss Housemarque's older titles like Alien Nation or Dead Nation. Let's see what comes out of this, but you guys let me know if you've played Sword of the Sea or not. Let me know down in the comments below, and if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with the next gen race is on. It's already kind of been on. We've seen what's going on from last year, but it seems to be heating up even more so, and 2026 could be the year that we start seeing a lot more of this stuff that's going on with next generation, maybe more related to dev kits and stuff like that. But if you're excited for the next generation of consoles, destroy the comment section with the next gen races on, and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do, because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.